Let's get it. Come on. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Nice kind of a semi off day today. Just knock out a quick 2 miles to get myself ready for the long run day tomorrow. Thinking probably around at least a half marathon. We'll see how I feel around mile 8-ish. I didn't get a chance to get into the ice bath this weekend, so got to be cognizant of that before I go setting the mileage too high without recovering and all that. So seeing all that being said, as far as what today's Move Swiftly thought is, it's a Monday. According to this Monday, I believe it is the 16th, Monday, September 16th, 2024. Again, a Monday in September. You know, I got to go back to some of the things that we've learned college football Saturday, this past Saturday, college football, which is, again, it's a difficult, it's interesting about this Saturday is I was attempting to get certain things done. Like, I was doing some podcasts, batching and getting all the episodes loaded up for this week. And I found myself really distracted because, football is back, and so many of the lessons, so many of the things that I talk about in regards to business and how to apply the lessons that the game teaches in regards to teamwork and making it so you have a staff, you have an organization, you have a business that's running like a very committed group of young football players, high school football players, college football players that are really committed to winning a championship, not getting paid much, but they're just so committed to their job and committed to a goal to get to the next level. That's what I teach. That's what I infuse. That's the kind of energy that I look to infuse into business owners in tactical ways, implement tactical ways in which you can create that cohesive unit within your own staff, right? So much of what I do on college football Saturdays when I'm watching games and I'm listening to it, I'm applying and I'm thinking of ways in which I can apply it to business. And, this week it was clear to see, I'm a Michigan fan. If regular listeners, you guys already know I'm a diehard Michigan fan. I'm a second team I root for. I like to see do well as Florida State. And it has been a rough start, to say the least. Rough start for both those organizations. The record doesn't indicate it because Michigan is 2-1. However, these two victories were very weak teams, and they looked really, really bad. Looked really, really bad in those two wins, and ultimately we saw how bad it looked when we played against Texas. It was just horrific, just unacceptable performance, and we don't even need to bring up Florida State on this, right? They're on to next season. They're already on the rebuilding year. I actually have an article out about that titled "The NIL and Transfer Portal Trade-Off," and as good as it was last year for them, it's just as bad as it is now for them. It's turning into a damn train wreck, and they need to start rebuilding for next year, right? But anyway, the major lessons and the major things that we need to discuss in regards to what we saw, what happened on college football Saturday, this past Saturday, and how we have to apply it to our business is you gotta make a decision. You have to, man. You have to make a decision. I watched the Michigan game, and they pulled the quarterback, Davis Warren, and as much as I love his story, as much as I love what he's all about in terms of being a fighter, in terms of just building his career, and just the fact that he's even playing football, knowing that he's lived through cancer and he fought it, he kicked the shit out of it, and he's playing football. I'm super proud of him, per se, proud that he is a Michigan man, to be honest with you, but he's just not playing well. He's not playing well. He threw some interceptions that were just unacceptable, and they ultimately pulled him and put Alex Orji in, and now you have a quarterback. Now you have yet to really name a starting quarterback, and this is the issue that's going on with the team, is that there's no direction because there's no leadership. There's one position on the field where you can't have more than one player. You have to make a decision on who the starter is going to be, and you have to ride with that person regardless. And when you start pulling your quarterback, when you start pulling your quarterback and showing how indecisive you are at that position, it speaks to the leadership of the organization. Okay, so that was the one situation. Again, we were lucky enough to escape with the win because we were playing a weaker team. Now, once the game was done, I went to Duffy's for lunch, and I happened to be sitting next to in between. So I happened to be sitting in between. I was in between a Miami Hurricanes fan and right behind me was like a group. It was like there were two guys, you know, both Miami Hurricanes people, and then right behind me it was a whole table full of Gator fans, like diehard Florida Gator fans. And it was interesting kind of seeing the dynamic, because, you know, both of the games were on a lightning delay and they had to prolong both the games, so they ended up actually, some of the games were going on at the same time, and we saw one organization, one team, one program who was the Miami Hurricanes that had made the decision at quarterback, had a solid quarterback in Cam Ward, and we saw how they were performing, versus the Florida Gators, who have a talented young quarterback in I think it's Langwell or something like that, who's like the best player out of Texas, yet they keep flip-flopping. They know that the season isn't going the way they want to. They keep flip-flopping. They put Hurts in one series, and then they put the other guy in the other series. Once one guy gets some rhythm, then you switch out your quarterback again, which again is the same problem that's going on in Michigan, where you got to make a decision at that position, which is why it's already kind of the writing's on the wall, where this guy Napier might not even make it to the end of the week with his job. And these are the things that you got to pay attention to when you're applying it to your business. When you make a decision on who you're going to put out there, or who you're going to give the most important job there is to give, who you're going to give that position to, you got to stand behind it, and you got to be decisive, and you cannot be the person that's just constantly indecisive when game day comes, when the test comes. So when you apply it to your business, when you apply it to your organization, excuse me, you apply it to your organization, you have to start to say to yourself, is this person that I'm putting in this position, is this person going to be someone that's helping my bottom line? And my bottom line is to win, and your bottom line should be whatever your bottom line is. Most likely is to generate revenue. And if the person who's in place isn't doing what he or she has to do to generate revenue and bring in the people to generate revenue, or create the service, your main service that you offer, then you have to be decisive in getting rid of them. But you can't be flip-flopping from one quarterback to the next, and flip-flopping from one manager to this manager to that manager, because ultimately what it says about you as a leader, it says that you can't make the right decision, and you're not the person that can be in these positions of leadership, and you don't want that to be you in your business. All right, I have a lot more. I have a whole lot more on this, because there's so many lessons that the game teaches, and we are just getting started here in football season. In fact, there'll be tons of them. I am working on a deal where I'll be able to start to stream some of these, you know, youth games, some of these high school games, you know, so just stay plugged into the channel. All that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.